What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
This alone was a tremendous surprise, but soon I faced an even more astonishing event. It turned out that, somewhere along the way, I had been chosen as the director of the FNTA.
We entrust everything to you.
King Gazel informed me.
If Rimuru places his trust in you, Myourmiles, I can certainly do the same.
Hearing such high praise made even someone like me freeze up with anxiety. However, if the king had that level of confidence in me, none of our dwarven bureaucrats would dare oppose it. If they did, they certainly didn't show it in their work. Yam expressed his gratitude in a similar manner.
We're the ones receiving help and I have no complaints about that so far, so hang in there, okay?
He leaned closer and whispered into my ear, "Can't be easy, huh, being under Rimuru's influence?"
Not for either of us.
I replied with a grin.
But thanks to that, I couldn't be having more fun.
Yam smiled back at me, so I assume he understood. On the other hand, Blumund proved to be a challenging endeavor. The people there appeared reasonable and open to discussion, but my instincts told me that King Dolan of Blumund was not one to be taken lightly, and, as expected, the negotiations proved to be futile.
The director of this trade alliance will likely possess immense power in the future, enough to make even a king turn their head. If you were to assume this position, Myourmiles, it would put my mind at ease.
I had braced myself for the worst, but the way he phrased it, it seemed he was open to a wait-and-see approach.
Well, I'm quite honored. In that case, I look forward to it.
By the way,
Here it comes. I prepared myself for what was to follow.
our nation is currently training individuals who will serve in Rimuru's plans. It seems only natural that these individuals would be guaranteed employment once their training is complete.
Ah, yes, of course. I'm certain the plans would be impossible to execute without their cooperation.
You think so? That's a relief to hear. I assume you are aware of the current situation in my kingdom.
The situation, Your Majesty?
I replied, unsure of what he was referring to or how I should respond. The king maintained a friendly smile as he disclosed something that sounded utterly unbelievable.
Let me be frank. Our nation has completely ceased all agricultural activities. We have released all the crops and provisions from our treasury to ensure our people have something to sustain themselves. I would like to request some support in that regard if possible.
What?
I was rendered speechless. However, arguing would not accomplish anything.
Of course, we will do whatever we can, but I'm afraid my current position does not grant me authority to make such policy decisions.
Oh, I'm sure Rimuru would grant his permission with a smile. We have allowed him to construct the World Central Station, the primary hub for magic trains within our territory. Considering that contribution, I highly doubt he would simply abandon us.
This is absurd.
Part of me wanted to shout at him about the unsoundness of his logic, but another part found it somewhat plausible. This king had staked the entire future of his kingdom on Sir Rimuru's plans. Would it turn out to be a foolish mistake or the decision of a wise ruler? Or, perhaps it was my responsibility to ensure that he was making the right move. I believed it was. If people concluded that the king had made an error in judgment, it would mean that Sir Rimuru's plans had failed. We had been grappling with severe staff shortages even before this. If the entire population of Blumund was willing to work for us, it would greatly assist us in various ways. Ultimately, I had just one response for him.
Ah yes, I'm certain he wouldn't. You've made a valid point, Your Majesty. Therefore, I assure you that I will strive to bring Blumund to a state of full employment.
How reassuring to hear, Myourmiles. And I hope you will continue to extend your support to us in the future. With that in mind, I would like you to address me simply as Dalan from now on.
Well, this was unexpected. A king wanted a common merchant like me to discard all formalities?
Oh, that would be too improper of me.
I gestured to decline, fearing a potential trap, but...
Myourmiles. Or perhaps I should call you guard instead.
No, I am merely here on behalf of Sir Rimuru. I am a commoner, you see.
No need for modesty now. Besides, guard, considering your connections with both Rimuru and Emperor Elmesia, can one truly believe that you are a mere commoner? Even I am not granted such a privilege in their presence.
The king looked deadly serious. While he and Sir Rimuru were acquainted and had a good relationship, if he were compared to the almighty heavenly emperor of Thalion, he would pale in comparison. It was evident from his expression, and I couldn't deny his point. Perhaps I had been averting my gaze from the truth, but Big Mama was truly an invincible force. No, the King of Blumund was undoubtedly trying to establish a closer relationship with me in this moment. Referring to me by my first name was an honor, one that I genuinely appreciated as we built our ties. But how should I respond? Was there any need to hesitate? After all, the King of Blumund bore the surname Blumund. Furthermore, his son, Prince Figaro, was in charge of the Western General Trade Company. I believed I was in safe territory.
Very well, King Dolan, then.
Hold on. Let's address each other as equals, shall we? You can even call me Dory if you...
No, I'm afraid that's a bit too unconventional, perhaps even risky.
You think so?
I know so. But all right, may I at least refer to you as the esteemed Sir Dolan?
Carefully, I adjusted his title slightly, attempting to accommodate his request. If someone found this to be too impolite, I would rightfully be thrown into the dungeon, but I trusted that such an outcome was unlikely. Sir Dolan simply smiled back at me.
You've made me incredibly happy. Developing such a close friendship with someone like you, Guard, who has the ear of the Demon Lord at all times, makes me feel more empowered than ever before. I eagerly anticipate continuing our relationship along these lines.
Apparently, I had become Sir Dolan's friend now. I glanced around the throne room, expecting someone to object to this. However, despite the presence of his solemn-faced ministers standing behind him, not a single one uttered a word. In fact, they smiled at me with relief. I could only interpret this as a sign that Sir Dolan was genuinely committed to his words. He was investing everything he had into the Four Nations Trade Alliance, the multinational organization I was leading. He was truly staking his entire nation on it, and on me. What an incredible gamble. Even I would have hesitated to make such a monumental decision. Viewing it from that perspective, the King of Blumund was undeniably one of the boldest individuals in the world.
Yes, indeed. I eagerly look forward to building a long and fruitful relationship, and I will strive to prove to you that I am not merely relying on my lord's reputation.
With utmost respect, I bowed to Sir Dolan. After our meeting, I had some other practical matters to attend to in Blumund. Viscount Veyard, who had recently been promoted from Baron, provided me with an update on current affairs. The kingdom apparently had enough food to sustain itself for a year, and the educational program was progressing well. The most talented students were already being sent across the land to contribute early in their careers.
Of course, it should come as no surprise when I mention that our nation excels in espionage. Our agents are currently deployed in various countries, conducting tasks such as price research on our behalf. We are also training individuals for the bureaucracy, following the principle of wise people, prosperous country. People of all ages are coming together to learn about global affairs and economics.
The Viscount's smile remained unwavering as he spoke, but the extreme political measures he described left me speechless. I had never doubted Sir Dolan's words, but I had not anticipated such a comprehensive approach. It seemed that the king's subjects were just as determined as he was.
But I cannot sit here indefinitely, acting astonished. Very well, then. In that case, let me provide an update on the progress of our own plans.
There was no need to hide anything, so I proceeded to explain all the initiatives we were undertaking. Firstly, the development of magic trains was advancing smoothly. We had already laid tracks from the terminus in Dwargon, passing through the plant station at Farminus. Construction had reached a point just before Blumund, with Farminus sending crops and produce to Dwargon. At Dwargon, the magic train's cargo was then replaced with industrial goods, which would be transported to Farminus. There, the necessary goods would be distributed, and the remaining items would continue on to Blumund, which aimed to become a major hub for goods in due time.
Of course, I imagine sanitation and storage for food commodities will become crucial tasks in the future, then.
Indeed, they will. I also request Blumund's assistance in determining the destinations and intended recipients of necessary goods.
Naturally, I have already conveyed this to the employees we are deploying in the field.
I had heard that Veyard was acquainted with Fuse, but it seemed he was equally shrewd at the negotiation table. And now that I thought about it, Sir Rimuru did mention that I should be wary of Veyard's sharpness. He was certainly correct. Veyard was not someone I could let my guard down around.
Excellent. So, what plans do you have for the land where you no longer cultivate crops?
We have already set plans in motion for that. We have acquired the required land for World Central Station, which we plan to construct near the capital. Most of the surrounding land will be left vacant in all directions to facilitate easy connection to the highway system.
Oh,
We also have land on the outskirts of the capital designated as a logistical hub, connected to World Central.
Is that so?
They were so well prepared that I was at a loss for words. Soon enough, we delved into frank negotiations, no longer attempting to overpower each other. Tempest would provide a labor force to construct the monumental World Central Station and establish a rail line to Dwargon. The plan was to subsequently extend the railway to Thalion and Anglacia. As these developments took place, we agreed that Blumund would construct a range of warehouses on the designated empty land they had prepared for us. Through this, we could already envision a future where Blumund transformed into a vast and influential industrial region. Undoubtedly, this would lead to a surge in land prices, making it crucial for us to secure the most favorable plots urgently. Blumund was clearly destined to become a future trade hub, and I intended to acquire the best land possible before that time.
Now, regarding our Four Nations Trade Alliance branch, I propose constructing a new facility, rendering the current location temporary.
No need to worry. We have some excellent locations available.
A sense of unease crept over me. I attempted to decipher Vryard's intentions, but his villainous smile concealed them too well to discern.
And you're willing to provide us with this land?
The cost of the land required for the railway and stations would be shared equally between us going forward. As per our agreement, in exchange for the expertise and labor we provided, we wouldn't be charged. However, I had saved the matter of procuring land for our branches for later, and now I saw ominous clouds gathering on the horizon, and my intuition proved correct.
No, I'm afraid I cannot offer that. In the Kingdom of Blumund, we have adopted a new system where all land belongs to the nation, with the king granting it to his people as necessary.
He had me. It was such a drastic and cunning move that even I wouldn't have conceived of it. I mean, heavens, how did they manage to pass such a law? Kudos to them for pulling it off. I couldn't fathom how they persuaded the nobles to relinquish their vested interests.
And how much will you charge for the use of this land?
Our current plan entails 1 silver coin per square meter.
It wasn't exorbitant. It wasn't cheap either, but if you wanted to lease land in Anglacia, you'd be looking at a minimum of 3 silver coins per square meter. We would have to pay an effective annual income tax on this land, but it was better to secure it now than later.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Zach Rawson, Jerry Sladek, Alfonso Smith, D-Man, Ruben, Yuki Iki, Gray, Chris Jr., Isaac, Koala King 93, Paul DeGrassi, Little 95, Quilly Buckner, Thanacorn Lee Sawat. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.